NFL players are some of the toughest athletes on the planet.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness!
But for a few, their hardest battles didn't happen on the field. They happened in real life, with deadly results.
Former NFL star Aaron Hernandez has been found guilty of first-degree murder, and he has been sentenced to life in prison.
From Jovan Belcher, a linebacker who murdered his girlfriend,
Police say linebacker Jovan Belcher fatally shot his girlfriend,
to Ray Lewis, a superstar whose name was tied to a deadly stabbing.
Ray Lewis and two friends, Joseph Sweeting and Reginald Oakley, are charged with murder.
These are the NFL players whose lives took a dark turn off the field. Aaron Hernandez. Aaron Hernandez grew up in Bristol, Connecticut, in a violent, unstable household. His father was abusive, his parents fought constantly, and Hernandez later revealed he was abused as a child. Despite this, he excelled at football, eventually playing for the University of Florida, winning a national championship, and earning All-American honors. In 2010, the New England Patriots drafted him. Hernandez quickly became one of the league's top tight ends, forming a record-setting duo with Rob Gronkowski. He was talented, famous, and on track for a legendary career. But his personal life was spiraling. In 2013, Hernandez was arrested for murdering Odin Lloyd, a semi-professional football player connected to his fiance's family. The Patriots cut him immediately. So, in 2015, he was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life without parole.
Madam Foreperson, on indictment 2013-983-A, charging the defendant Aaron Hernandez with murder.
While in prison, he faced a separate trial for a 2012 double homicide, but was acquitted. Also, prison life was volatile. Hernandez alternated between calm religiosity and dangerous behavior, including drug use and confrontations with guards. On April 19, 2017, just 5 days after his acquittal in the double murder case, he took his own life in his cell. He left behind handwritten notes, biblical references, and disturbing drawings, hinting at a tormented mind. The NFL removed his likeness from video games and memorabilia, while fans and families of victims expressed grief and anger. Additionally, Hernandez was diagnosed with CTE, raising questions about how the brain injury may have influenced his actions. Now, the next guy has an even crazier story. Eric Naposki. Eric Naposki wasn't your typical NFL player. He bounced around the league in the late 80s and early 90s, playing linebacker for teams like the Patriots, Colts, and Jets, never quite sticking. Later, he found some success overseas with the Barcelona Dragons in the World League of American Football, even winning the World Bowl. But football would soon fade into the background for something far darker. In December 1994, millionaire investor Bill McLaughlin was shot dead in his Newport Beach home. The case went cold for 15 years. However, what finally emerged was a shocking story. Naposki had been involved with McLaughlin's girlfriend, Nanette Johnston, and together they plotted to murder McLaughlin so Johnston could collect his life insurance. A classic scheme, but the fact it involved a former NFL player made it headline-worthy. Naposki and Johnston weren't caught for over a decade. In 2009, authorities finally charged them, and in 2011, Naposki was convicted of first-degree murder.
I admit, I might have made some bad decisions.
The jury found he had pulled the trigger himself and acted for financial gain. Johnston was convicted as well. By 2012, both were sentenced to life in prison without parole. The case was full of twists. Naposki's defense argued he was innocent, pointing to circumstantial evidence, a 15-year delay in charges, and lost records that could have cleared him. There was no murder weapon, no DNA, no fingerprints, and no eyewitnesses. Still, the court rejected his appeals. Now Naposki is serving his life sentence in California, while his case remains a fascination for true crime shows like American Greed, 48 Hours, and Deadly Sins. On the other side, this next NFL player carried out a massacre that took everyone by complete surprise. Philip Adams. Philip Adams, born in Rock Hill, South Carolina, was a former NFL cornerback who played for multiple teams during his career. Despite his professional success, his life took a devastating turn. So, on April 7, 2021, Adams committed a mass shooting in his hometown, resulting in the deaths of 6 individuals, including Dr. Robert Leslie, his wife Barbara, their 2 grandchildren, and 2 HVAC technicians. The following day, during a standoff with police, Adams took his own life life. Adams' violent actions shocked everyone, but the reasons may lie deep in his brain. An autopsy revealed that he had stage 2 chronic traumatic encephalopathy, a degenerative disease linked to repeated head trauma. Experts described his case as unusually severe, especially in the frontal lobes, the areas controlling impulse, judgment, and behavior. Dr. Ann McKee, who examined his brain, noted that Adams wasn't just snapping, he had progressive cognitive and behavioral decline, showing paranoia, memory loss, impulsivity, and explosive aggression over time. His brain resembled that of Aaron Hernandez, another former NFL player whose undiagnosed CTE contributed to violent and self-destructive behavior. Adams's family noticed these changes years earlier. His sister said his mental health degraded fast and terribly, with escalating temper issues and personal hygiene neglect. Medical records revealed that Adams sought help for his symptoms through the NFL, but was repeatedly denied assistance, leaving him struggling with pain, memory issues, and insomnia. Investigators also found amphetamines, kratom, and multiple firearms, along with notebooks filled with cryptic writings. Despite these clues, authorities admit they may never fully understand Adams's actions. York County Sheriff Kevin Tolson remarked, "There's one individual that knows the why, and he's deceased. We may not know in this life, on this planet, what the why is." Next up, we have an NFL player involved in a tragic family murder. Raphael Cherry. Raphael Cherry is a former NFL defensive back who played for the Washington Redskins and Detroit Lions. Born on December 19, 1961, Cherry was a fifth-round draft pick in 1985 and appeared in 42 games during his NFL career. In 1998, Cherry's life took a dark turn. His estranged wife, Jerry Harris Cherry, was found dead on a couch in their Jacksonville home on December 22. Prosecutors claimed Cherry murdered her in a fit of anger over their divorce. In 1999, he was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. Cherry always maintained his innocence, insisting, "I never touched Jerry, and that's the truth." His conviction was later overturned because jurors had improperly discussed the case before deliberations. A retrial followed, and in 2003, Cherry was again convicted of first-degree murder. This time, he received a 30-year sentence. He became eligible for parole in 2019 and was released in July 2023. The case shocked the NFL world, highlighting a tragic side of a player whose life off the field spiraled into violence and loss. Up next, we have Ray Caruth, a talented NFL player who ruined his life over a bad choice with his girlfriend. Ray Caruth. Ray Caruth was a rising star in the NFL, drafted in the first round by the Carolina Panthers after a standout college career at Colorado. As a rookie, he caught over 40 passes for 545 yards and 4 touchdowns, earning all-rookie honors. But injuries hit him hard. He broke his foot in 1998 and never fully recovered, and by 1999, his NFL career was on the decline. Off the field, his life spiraled out of control. Caruth was dating Cherika Adams, who was 8 months pregnant with his child. In November 1999, he conspired with his associate Van Brett Watkins and another accomplice, Michael Kennedy, to murder her. Thus, Caruth blocked her car while Watkins shot her multiple times. Adams survived long enough to deliver their baby via emergency cesarean, but she died a few weeks later. Their son, Chancellor Lee Adams, survived but suffered severe brain damage and cerebral palsy after being without oxygen for over an hour. Caruth fled, but was captured the next day, hiding in a car trunk in Tennessee. Watkins and Kennedy were also arrested. At trial, prosecutors argued Caruth ordered the hit because Adams refused to terminate the pregnancy. Caruth's defense claimed it was a drug deal gone wrong, but the jury didn't buy it. He was convicted of conspiracy to commit murder, shooting into an occupied vehicle, and attempting to destroy an unborn child, avoiding the death penalty. Watkins received over 40 years for second-degree murder, while Kennedy, the driver, was released in 2011. Caruth served 18 years and was released in 2018. He apologized to Adams' mother but was barred from raising Chancellor. Moving on, we have a former NFL player who shockingly took the life of his ex-girlfriend, Kevin Ware Jr. Kevin Ware Jr. was a former NFL tight end who played for the Washington Redskins and San Francisco 49ers. He spent parts of the 2003 and 2004 seasons in the league, appearing in 16 games total, but his professional career never really took off. Ware's legal troubles began in college at the University of Washington, where he pleaded guilty to assault. After his football career, things only got worse. He faced charges for theft, evading arrest, and drug offenses. In April 2021, Ware's girlfriend, Taylor Pomaski, disappeared following a party at their Houston home. Neighbors reported that the couple had argued violently before she vanished. Months later, Pomaski's remains were discovered in northern Harris County, Texas. She had been beaten, cut, strangled, and burned. Evidence suggested Ware murdered her using a knife, a blunt object, and strangulation, then tried to cover up the crime. A witness told investigators that Ware had even taken a photo of the fire on his phone. Ware was already in jail on drug and firearm charges when authorities indicted him for murder. He initially faced life in prison, but just days before his trial in 2025, he accepted a plea deal. Ware pleaded guilty to murder and tampering with evidence and was sentenced to 30 years. He also received concurrent sentences for previous drug and weapons convictions. His career, his freedom, and the life of his girlfriend were all destroyed in a violent, senseless act, leaving behind a chilling chapter in the history of NFL players who killed in real life. But that's not all. This next NFL player shocked everyone with what he did to his own mother. Sergio Brown. Sergio Brown is a former NFL safety who played 7 seasons in the league. He starred at Notre Dame in college and signed with the New England Patriots as an undrafted free agent. Over his career, he also played for the Indianapolis Colts, Jacksonville Jaguars, and Buffalo Bills. Brown had some notable moments on the field, like recording his only career interception with the Patriots and hitting Rob Gronkowski while with the Colts. He finished his NFL career in 2016 and later worked in digital advertising, earning a master's degree from the University of Miami. In September 2023, Brown's life took a dark turn. His mother, Myrtle Simmons Brown, was found dead behind her home in Maywood, Illinois. Authorities determined she died from blunt force trauma. At the time, Sergio Brown was missing. Days later, he appeared in Mexico, posting videos on social media. In them, he claimed he thought his mother was on vacation and suggested he had been kidnapped by the FBI, even joking about finding Nemo. In October, Mexican authorities detained Brown. He was found with some of his mother's belongings, including her credit cards and cell phone. Brown was deported to the U.S., extradited to Illinois, and charged with first-degree murder and concealing a dead body. He pleaded not guilty and is now in custody at Cook County Jail, awaiting trial. On the flip side, this next NFL player did something shocking to his girlfriend's 5-year-old daughter, Cierre Wood. Cierre Wood was a former NFL running back who shocked the football world with a crime no one expected. Born in Oxnard, California, he was a standout at Santa Clara High School, rushing for thousands of yards and earning All-American honors. He went on to play college football at Notre Dame, where he steadily climbed the depth chart and eventually became a starting running back. Wood entered the NFL as an undrafted free agent in 2013, signing with the Houston Texans, and had brief stints with the Patriots, Ravens, Seahawks, and Bills. He even played in the Canadian Football League for the Hamilton Tiger Cats and Montreal Alouettes, but his professional career never reached the heights many had expected. In April 2019, Wood and his girlfriend, Amy Taylor, were arrested following the death of Taylor's 5-year-old daughter, Larea Davis. The child was found with severe trauma, including dozens of broken ribs, internal bleeding, a lacerated liver, and extensive bruising. Reports revealed Wood had forced Larea to perform extreme exercise routines as punishment for being overweight, while Taylor admitted to physically restraining the child. The girl tragically died from her injuries, and the case made headlines for its shocking brutality. Wood entered an Alford plea to second-degree murder and felony child abuse, allowing him to accept the court's judgment while still claiming innocence. In August 2024, he was sentenced to life in prison, with the possibility of parole after over a decade. Taylor also pleaded guilty and received a similar sentence. Next, we have Dante Stallworth, who shocked everyone by doing something that landed him on the list of NFL players who killed in real life. Dante Stallworth. Dante Stallworth was a talented NFL wide receiver who played 10 seasons for teams like the New Orleans Saints, Philadelphia Eagles, Cleveland Browns, and New England Patriots. Known for his speed and hands, Stallworth made an impact on the field, with notable seasons in 2005 and 2007, and even played in Super Bowl XXIII with the Patriots. But his career and life took a dark turn off the field. On the morning of March 14, 2009, Stallworth hit and killed 59-year-old pedestrian pedestrian Mario Reyes in Miami Beach, Florida. Stallworth was driving his Bentley at about 50 mph in a 40 mph zone. He later admitted to having drunk alcohol the night before with a blood alcohol content of 0.12, well over the legal limit. Stallworth surrendered to authorities the following day. He was charged with DUI manslaughter and ultimately received a plea deal. 30 days in county jail, 1,000 hours of community service, 2 years of community control, and 8 years probation. His Florida driver's license was permanently revoked. He also reached a financial settlement with Reyes's family, avoiding a civil lawsuit. The NFL suspended Stallworth for the entire 2009 season without pay. After serving his sentence, he returned to the league but never regained his previous form. He later pursued journalism, working at the Huffington Post, and became a security consultant focusing on public venue safety. On the other hand, this next NFL player shocked the world when he fatally shot his girlfriend before taking his own life. Jovan Belcher. Jovan Belcher was a talented linebacker whose life and career ended in tragedy. Born on July 24, 1987, in West Babylon, New York, Belcher was a standout athlete in high school, excelling in football and wrestling. At West Babylon High School, he earned 3-time All-American honors in wrestling and led the football team as captain to consecutive playoff appearances, achieving the school's first undefeated regular season in 2004. Despite his success, he was lightly recruited and went on to play at the University of Maine, where he switched from linebacker to defensive end. Belcher earned multiple All-American honors in college and graduated with a degree in child development and family relations. Undrafted in 2009, Belcher signed with the Kansas City Chiefs and quickly became a starting inside linebacker. His 2011 season was his most productive, with 61 tackles and 26 assists. Re-signed in 2012, he played 11 games that season before his life unraveled. Known for his community involvement, he regularly visited schools and military bases to mentor children and inspire students in his hometown. By late 2012, Belcher was living with his girlfriend, 22-year-old Cassandra Perkins, and their 3-month-old daughter, Zoe. On December 1st, after a night of arguments, Belcher fatally shot Perkins multiple times in front of her mother. He then drove to the Chiefs' training facility, where he told team officials what he had done before taking his own life. Autopsy reports later revealed a blood alcohol content over double the legal limit, and post-mortem examinations diagnosed Belcher with chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Belcher's death shocked the NFL and his community. Funeral services were held in New York and Texas for both him and Perkins. Moving on, let's dive into Ray Lewis and his wild, unforgettable life story. Ray Lewis is one of the most dominant linebackers in NFL history, but his life was marked by a shocking, violent incident. Born in 1975 in Bartow, Florida, Lewis rose from a troubled childhood to star at the University of Miami, then became the cornerstone of the Baltimore Ravens. Known for his intensity and leadership, he racked up over 2,000 career tackles and led the Ravens to 2 Super Bowl victories, earning Super Bowl XXV MVP honors. However, on January 31, 2000, after a Super Bowl XXP4 party in Atlanta, Lewis's life took a dark turn. A fight broke out between Lewis's entourage and another group, resulting in the stabbing deaths of Jacinth Baker and Richard Lawler. Lewis, along with 2 companions, was indicted on murder and aggravated assault charges. Investigators alleged that the fight escalated just outside the Cobalt Lounge in Buckhead. Blood evidence linked Lewis to the scene, including traces found inside his limousine. During the trial, Lewis admitted he had misled police about his involvement, initially claiming he wasn't at the scene. He eventually struck a plea deal, pleading guilty to obstruction of justice in exchange for testifying against his companions, Reginald Oakley and Joseph Sweeting. His testimony helped the jury determine that Oakley and Sweeting had acted in self-defense, and both were acquitted. Lewis received 12 months probation, the maximum for a first-time offender, and a $250,000 NFL fine, at the time the largest non-substance abuse fine in league history. The case haunted his career. Many questioned how someone involved in a double homicide could continue to play at the highest level.
But it goes something like this. While Ray Lewis is being celebrated by millions, 2 men tragically and brutally died in Atlanta.
Yet, Lewis returned to dominate on the field, eventually rebuilding his reputation and cementing his legacy as a legendary linebacker. Up next, we've got another NFL player whose life took a shocking turn: Jim Dunaway. James Dunaway was a star defensive tackle for the Buffalo Bills in the 1960s, part of a legendary defensive line that held opponents without a rushing touchdown for 17 straight games. On the field, he was unstoppable, a force that made quarterbacks and running backs tremble. Off the field, however, his life took a dark turn. In 1998, Dunaway's ex-wife, Naniel, was found dead in a half-full swimming pool. The autopsy revealed a fractured skull and that she had been unconscious before being placed in the water. The couple had divorced 3 years earlier, and Naniel had won a divorce settlement that gave her more than 800 acres of property, $1,100 a month in alimony, and half of Dunaway's NFL pension. On the other hand, Dunaway was reportedly planning to appeal the settlement. So, charged with her murder, Dunaway faced the criminal system, but a grand jury chose not to indict him. While criminal charges didn't stick, the case didn't end there. His children filed a wrongful death lawsuit, claiming their father was responsible for their mother's death. In 2002, the court found Dunaway liable, and he was ordered to pay $579,000 to his children. Furthermore, Dunaway had been teammates for 3 seasons with O.J. Simpson, who also faced controversy after being found responsible for the death of his ex-wife, even after a criminal acquittal. As we approach the end of our list, we have a rare NFL player that also did the unthinkable: Dwayne Lewis Goodrich. Dwayne Lewis Goodrich was a cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys who played college football at the University of Tennessee. Also, at Tennessee, he became a 3-year starter, highlighted by a 54-yard interception return for a touchdown in the 1999 Fiesta Bowl, helping the Volunteers win the national championship and earning defensive MVP honors. He finished his college career with multiple interceptions, tackles, and passes defensed, despite suffering a back injury in his senior season. Furthermore, in 2002, he appeared in 11 games, mostly as a reserve, starting only once, and recorded no interceptions. However, Goodrich's life took a tragic turn on January 14, 2003, when he was involved in a hit-and-run accident on a North Dallas freeway. 2 people were killed while trying to rescue a man from a burning car. Witnesses claimed Goodrich was driving at 100 mph, though experts later estimated his speed between 54 and 80 mph. Arrested the next day, he was charged with vehicular manslaughter. On September 8, 2003, Goodrich was convicted of 2 counts of criminally negligent homicide and sentenced to 7.5 years in prison, along with a $20,000 fine. In 2006, prosecutors and victims' families successfully added 5 more years to his sentence. During court proceedings, one surviving victim, Shuki Joseph, approached Goodrich to shake his hand, forgiving him in an emotional moment. He served 8 years in prison and was released on October 5, 2011. Goodrich's football career never recovered after the accident. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section, and before you leave, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to NFL Rivals so you don't miss the next ones.